everyone. This is Kristen. I'm here at the Annex. We are doing another Annex artist chat today. The Annex is located at 140 State Street in New London, Connecticut. We are open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We hope to see you support local artists. That's what we do here. We're a community of artists, and we make everything from apparel, jewelry, accessories, zines, photo prints, art prints, all sorts of stuff. So today we are actually super excited because we are talking with our next growing artist project participant, Anna Laquerre. As you know, we were basically given a grant from ARPA a few years ago to help artists develop themselves, whether it be merchandise, having an exhibit here at the Annex, hanging their artwork, expressing themselves, and kind of gives us a chance to dive into their creativity and help them bring it out to the world for sometimes the first time, sometimes, the third route on their notch on their belt, but we're here to help bring the best out of them and hopefully be a big part of their journey. Today we're here with Anna Laquerre, like I said. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. So with our Growing Artist project that we've been doing here at the Annex, we've had really awesome experiences with artists being able to kind of just learn more about them and be a big part of like their start off journey. So for your exhibit, Shared Vision, we're going to be seeing photography, large print photography. And within your photography, it's interesting because it's not just like, oh, you take a picture and you print it. There's a lot more to it. So can you kind of like break down your process? Like, how do you get to like that photo that we're going to see in the show? How did you get there?
Yeah. So usually when I'm doing a photo shoot, I usually start with a storyboard. I write down like a few different ideas. Usually it comes in the middle of the night. I get random crazy ideas and I'm like, ooh, I need to do that. So I start journaling about it and kind of sketching things out. Especially over the summer, I used myself as a model just because I think it's kind of the easiest way to have the time and kind of the space to really think about what I want to portray in the image. So once I sketch everything down, I usually start doing like rough draft shoots where I'll sit in front of the camera, think about like the positioning and really what I want it to show. So like, for example, my Head in the Clouds one, I also paint. So I wanted to do something that kind of portrayed something almost dissociative, but like dreamy. So I ended up painting a portrait of just like a canvas of clouds. And then I wanted to cut a face hole in it and I put it over my head so that I was almost part of this like dream world. So I ended up doing that, filming a few different clips of me painting because I usually make videos out of my photo shoots. And then sitting there, getting the position and everything, and then going into Photoshop and editing and adding all the graphic elements because I went to school for graphic design, so I love to also add like different medias into my work. So that's what I did. I ended up going in with my like pen tool and doing some cool designs in it. So
yeah, so you're basically like, here's all the list of things I do. How can I put that all into one piece?
Yes, basically.
Which is really beautiful because it's like you hinder on set design, right? So there's like this massive amount of set design that's going into your work. And then it's also like a self-portrait. And then you're also painting. And then you're also doing, digital enhancements after, right? It's like post or some post work. So you must be really comfortable in front of the camera. Or is that like an alter ego that kind of comes out?
Definitely an alter ego. I've always been a really kind of anxious person and more comfortable behind the camera and like having control over my work. So getting in front of it is definitely different when it's just me versus like my art self. Because I feel like I have kind of like an alter ego where I just get into like a creative space where I'm not really thinking about the camera watching me, but thinking more about how I want the image to come out. So yeah.
And Shared Vision, we're also going to see some of your jewelry.
Yep.
So what's your process with that? I know you do resin art, right?
Yeah. So I actually started making it last summer just as like a fun little hobby, but I take black ink and then mix it with resin to do like a base coat, and then I take dried flowers and press them down into each pendant. And and it takes about like a few days to make, but I kind of think that it kind of goes along with my whole midnight flame aesthetic, so I wanted it to match that but also be something kind of like on the side that I do.
So this is like really the Anna Laquerre universe, right? It's
I
like
guess,
that's
yeah.
what we're kind of like, okay, so this is what these characters wear, or this is, something they would own, and this is how you see them in the world, like through the photography
Mhm.
and the mixed media. And then with the shared vision interactive experience,
Mhm.
what's that going to be about? Talk to us about how we're going to lay that out. I know we've kind of gone through some ideas of sort of eye contact, right?
Yeah.
Like the concept of eye contact, the
Mhm.
concept of like sharing eye contact with someone and asking them questions. How do you want that to play out?
Yeah, I want to get kind of a group of people together to bring them into the show to kind of be a part of like an interactive experience that's meant to show that people aren't all that different, and kind of talk about like art and how art can help people heal. It's something that's like really important to me because for me, art is something that's really deep. And I think that a lot of different artists have that experience too, where it's not like just surface level and what you see. It has like a lot of emotion to it. So I wanted people to come in and kind of feel that and not just see what I've made, but really like have an experience too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think also too, it's something that offers the person who doesn't see themselves as an artist
Hmm.
that comes to the show
Hmm.
can experience it, right?
Yeah,
So it's like
definitely.
it gives people an opportunity to like, okay, maybe they're not quite sure as like how to create, to do photography or paint or
Yeah,
these things, but if they can have that interactive experience, it's almost like they can see into the eyes of the creative version of themselves,
for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and so your show Shared Vision is January 24th at the Annex. We're going to kick it off celebrating from 6 to 9. We're not sure about the interactive part. We'll probably go on either before or after. More to come on that. But I guess, like now we can kind of dive back into like where this all started for
Hmm.
you. Did you come out the womb like, okay, get me in this photo, or,
Kind
or
of.
like, let me start painting? Like, how did it? What's your earliest memory of being creative?
um, Probably when I was younger, I would draw a lot. I always kind of started with like drawing and then making my mom a bunch of presents. Like I remember this one, I took like a mozzarella box and I painted it and I made it into kind of like a sculpture thing where it said like happy birthday mom with flags and stuff. So I
Mhm.
guess I've always kind of taken different objects and wanted to make them into art
Mhm.
when I was younger. But yeah.
Did you take art classes in school and stuff, or?
Yeah, all the time. It was always like my favorite subject.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And did you go to art college or art school or conservatory or anything like that? What was your journey from sort of like dabbling to high school into after that?
Um, I mean, I remember even in middle school, like my art classes always felt like a safe space because school was always super scary to me. I was like a really anxious kid, so it kind of that was the place where I felt comfortable. And then into high school, I took a lot of ceramic classes. I took advanced video, which I really fell in love with because I would always do kind of like stop motion videos as a kid too. And then I went to Three Rivers Community College for visual arts. Um, and then I switched to graphic design. So I did both, like I double majored, but really fell in love, I think, with the graphic elements of things just because I think it's quicker, but it's also, you can do so much with it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess it kind of opens the door to, like you said, like creating this universe, creating this world,
mhm.
right? There's only so much you can kind of do on paper. Like you can do a lot on paper, you can do a lot, 3D, but when it
Mhm.
comes to like videography, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this like interdimensional,
Hmm.
emotions and feelings that you can kind of like bring out, right?
Yeah.
So after college, what was sort of like, how did you dive into the arts or the community? How did you find things I know a lot of times people feel like school becomes a safe place, right? It's
For
like it
sure.
goes from being scary, but then when you're concentrating on your art, it becomes like safe. It's like, okay, well, what do you do after school? So how was that sort of transition into the real world for you?
Well, I feel like during school, I was always kind of trying to figure out how to build myself outside of it. Like, I would do art vending, so I would sell a lot of art prints kind of on the side. And then when I went into graphic design, I kind of realized, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, this is what I want. I love it. So I did more art vending, but then I also started reaching out to kind of local shows and doing the photography. Um, so that was really cool. And then I wanted to figure out really how to make it into like a career, because I want to do the freelancing. And then I was like, oh, well, if I have all these things that I want to do, like I have the jewelry, and then I have, like I've been into like clothing design and all that. I kind of decided that I wanted to do creative directing. Um, it just kind of like matches who I am. So over the summer after I graduated, I started really working hard on like, I want to get all these shoots out. I want to do like build my portfolio as much as I can, like reach out to people, because like you only have one life. And I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. Like it's something I've always wanted. So yeah.
So what's on the docket for you sort of this year and like within the next 5 years? What do you, I guess, professionally want to be doing?
hmm
And then like, what do you want to sort of start experimenting with artistically?
Um, I recently, I mean, it's really basic, but I just had a job as a set manager for Santa photos, which is the first kind of like creative job that I've really had. So hopefully, since I have that on my resume, I want to kind of keep growing and see if I can get into like music-based photography and do like album cover design and all that, because that's like a whole different world. And I love how musicians can kind of take like their story and put it into words, where the same thing with me, but I can put it visually. So
Yeah.
it's like really cool to be able to like work with people that
And
have
bring
the
that
same
out of
mind.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've done some, right? Well, you've been
Yeah.
working with some bands.
Yeah, I have. I was able to actually shoot like my favorite singer a few months ago.
Wow.
I met her dad at a concert, and I was like, "Hey, can I have a media pass?" And he actually gave me one. So
Wow, that's
yeah.
great.
Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of times too, it is just putting yourself there, right?
Yeah.
It's like whether you're supposed to be there for that, essentially, it's like just putting yourself in those positions, networking with people.
hmm
And that's one of the things like we hope that you can kind of get out of the Growing Artist Project is sort of, meeting different people, seeing different, viewpoints of like, okay, this person does this professionally, this person does this, or they're concentrated on this. How do you feel about the Growing Artist Project so far? How are we doing so far?
I love it. I remember, I don't know if you remember, but I had applied like, I think when you guys first started doing it, and I was like, oh my God, this is such a cool opportunity. I would love to do it, because it kind of like supports somebody that's not like completely there and like the confidence and like the business side of things yet. But I think it's super cool. And like just being able to be involved with New London, because New London's such a like awesome art community. Like I live in Stonington, and actually found the New London Art Council through, I think it was school when I was in Norwich. But yeah, I love it here. So
Yeah, it is. I think that that's one of the beauties of New London is it has continuously offered a space for artists to work together and collaborate, which is
Mhm.
like our biggest, I think, the biggest benefit of being in New London is there's so many artists that want to collaborate, right? It's
Yeah.
not like nobody's gatekeeping like secrets. At least I'm not gatekeeping any secrets from anybody. It's like
Mhm.
we're all kind of learning together and hopefully sort of setting up a path for artists to be like, okay, well, this is the possibility for you. And
Mhm.
of course, there's a million opportunities out there, right? It's like that we all kind of are still learning about, but it's how can we share this experience?
Yeah.
And I think, what you said earlier about, building your own confidence into like being the business of yourself, being in the
Yeah.
business for yourself and how to share yourself confidently, but also like, that alter ego, right? It's like, it's okay to play around with that
Mhm.
version of you because people are going to come in and they're going to see these massive prints of your face, and
Yeah.
that's sort of like the beauty and like self-expression.
Mhm.
So I guess it's kind of like, yeah, like let's see where that takes you, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that there was anything specific that you can think of that was sort of, hindered or hard for you to go through as an artist? Like, what do you think is like something that's maybe held you back or sort of like the hardest part about on this artistic journey?
Definitely my confidence. I think trying to build up something that other people may judge is really hard, but like art and like how I portray myself, even like on my account or Midnight Flames, really is like who I am. So it's kind of difficult in a way to show who you really are to other people and not just like a smaller version of yourself.
Yeah.
So that was probably the hardest. That and just being like, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Because that's something I've asked myself so many times like throughout my life, where now I feel like age 23 has really like showed me that I know like this is who I am, you know what I mean? And that I have to kind of listen to my intuition and block out like negative noise.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess just mentality wise has been the biggest struggle.
Yeah, your own anxiety, your
Mhm.
own like negative thoughts, right? Your
Mhm.
saboteur, as they
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
You know, I think the reality is too is like we're all fighting that, right? It's like
For sure.
especially like in a world where there's a lot of oversaturation, you know. It feels like things are oversaturated. I
Mhm.
don't really think that art is. I think that we
Yeah.
mistake a lot of things to be art that
Yeah.
aren't.
For
You
sure.
know, it's like Instagram is a beautiful place to share, but
Mhm.
essentially it's like we know because we know so many awesome videographers and photographers that it's like, yeah, but there's true expression,
Yeah.
and you can tell when somebody really has put their whole heart and soul into it.
For
and
sure.
and yeah, I mean, you have to block out everything. I think about like deleting all my accounts all the
Same.
time.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
like I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I just need to step back and
Yeah.
like not, you know, because the noise becomes it does become daunting, right? But
Yeah.
essentially, it's like you know, who cares about anybody else?
Well, I think about it a
You
lot, like
know?
especially with social media. It's like I have to take a step back when I'm doing projects and I'm like, am I doing this for myself or am I doing this like for how other people would see
Yeah.
me? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Which is I don't know, it's kind of scary, especially with taking over and stuff.
Hmm.
I feel like people are getting more disconnected from what the meaning of art really is, which is like
Yeah.
yourself and like how you want to be portrayed and like self-expression. So,
Right. We're
yeah.
gonna bleep out. I don't want to promote.
Yeah, no, no,
Just so
no.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to benefit from it. I don't want it to benefit from us.
Yeah, no, literally. I hate so much. It's
Well, I
terrible.
think I think the reality is, you know, it's great to be able to share your process, but
Mhm.
you're right. It's like you
Mhm.
can't think about the outcome. You
Mhm.
have to just go in and do.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like, you know, that's where it's like turn off all that noise, experience yourself, express
Mhm.
yourself, record it. And then if you want to share it, you're sharing something authentic, right? It's
Yeah.
not, it's like stopping your brain from being like, oh, I'm going to put this in this reel and this is like, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
You might not even share this.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I mean?
definitely.
Record this knowing that this might never be put out there, right?
Yeah.
There is like authenticity and beauty in that. And we have to kind of like find that journey. So one of the things we always ask anybody that sits on this couch with
Yeah.
me is because I do feel like everybody has something to offer
Mhm.
as far as advice and like tips, and there's always going to be somebody who feels drawn to you in a
Mhm.
different way than they might somebody else, right? So what do you think would be like maybe tips, advice, or maybe what not to do, what to do? What would you say to another artist who's maybe you 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what would you say to that person that's like getting themselves down or just not doing the work? What would be your spiel? Give them a spiel.
First off, you're doing great. Don't compare yourself to other people because it's just going to make you unhappy. That's something I've definitely had to learn as an artist because it just takes the joy out of everything. And don't care what people say. Experiment as much as you can because it really helps you find your voice. And even if you make a mistake, like that's totally fine because you have to stop taking it so serious. Like art is supposed to be fun. Even if you get into it as a career, it's supposed to be joyful. And that's like why you're there. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great
Yeah.
advice. That's really great advice. I mean, and those are things I think we fight as humans. You
Yeah.
know, that's a very like those are very humanistic, you know, faults that we all have is
Mhm.
comparing ourselves and stopping ourselves and maybe not experimenting enough, right? It's like, you know, that's really good advice. Thank
Yeah.
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. So Anna Laquerre,
Hmm.
but also Midnight Flame.
Hmm.
So what is Midnight Flame like? How do you want other people to take that in? What do you see that as being perceived? What is Midnight Flame?
I came up with the name because I kind of wanted to connect like art to mental health in a way because I wanted to portray art as like a light in the dark. That's how I see it. And it's also, I've kind of made it into like a certain style where like even with my jewelry, you see how it's like a black base and then like a flower. So it's almost like blooming from darkness. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Light in the dark.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And when people go to Midnight Flame, what can they expect?
A lot of cool stuff. Like a lot of, I guess, surrealism. I want them to kind of feel like they're walking into an experience and not just a show.
So everyone can kind of take on Midnight Flame.
Yeah.
Right? They can find
definitely.
their Midnight Flame.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the next shtick.
Yeah.
Like, find your Midnight Flame.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I think it's really beautiful because essentially what you're saying too, it's like, you know, there are a lot of parts of vulnerable parts of yourself that you've shared with us, you know, it's like, and I think everybody has that, right? So it's like, we all have that flame inside of us. And even though like there's all these things sort of bringing us down, it's like, how can we kind of bring it out and
Definitely
be the light in the dark type thing?
I think I also kind of used the word flame because ever since I was a kid, I guess I've felt almost like an inner flame, like a knowing that like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, that I've always kind of, through the self-doubt, held with me. So I wanted it to be in the name to really put into motion that this is me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost before you were ready to claim it.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, even though there's still so much flame in there that you haven't like fully like let out, it's like, yeah, no, let this speak for itself. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. I know it's weird to be on camera. It's not always every artist's best friend, but you do it really well.
Thanks.
And everybody will get to see on January 24th, 6 to 9 p.m. here at the Annex, 140 State Street, Shared Vision, Growing Artist Project featuring Anna Laquerre. I also want to say thank you to everybody who has supported the Annex. We are a group collective of artists selling their works, really taking a chance on the public to support us. We appreciate everybody who comes into the store and, you know, spends their hard-earned money. We understand times are weird. The world is very strange. However, artists will always be the expression of what's happening. They'll always express their heart to you. It'll always be genuine. And we thank those who support that journey, be it through, you know, art, jewelry, apparel, whatever it is. We're going to keep creating and we're going to keep offering you the best that we can. So thank you. I know it's a weird thing to kind of like do an interview and be on camera when you're normally behind the camera, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, let's... SD card.